Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Welcome back to our economics series. So before we dive into our second lecture on demand and supply, I want to take a few minutes to give you a clear roadmap of this course. So this is not just random content. We are following the University of London EMFSS EC 1002 syllabus. So my goal here on YouTube is to make this entire syllabus simple, clear and relevant for you with real world and Pakistan specific examples. So today I will guide you through the step-by-step journey we will take in this course, from the basics of economics to the big picture topics of macroeconomics. So dear students, in our first lecture, which we just completed, we introduced the big ideas like what is economics, scarcity, choice and opportunity cost, then positive versus normative economics, economic theories and models, the difference between micro and macro, and we ended with the production possibility frontier. So this was the foundation. It gave you the mindset of how economics think. Now we enter microeconomics, which is a study of individuals, households and firms. So this section is divided into several key lectures. The lecture 2 is demand and supply basics. So how buyers and sellers interact, how prices are determined, what equilibrium is. Then in lecture 3, elasticities, how sensitive demand and supply are to change in price, income and related goods. Then lecture 4, consumer theory, how individuals make choices using concepts like utility and indifference curves. Then lecture 5, theory of the firm and production, how businesses make decisions about cost, revenue and output. Then lecture 6, market structures, comparing perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competitions and oligopoly. Then in lecture 7, market failures and government intervention. So what happens when markets don't work efficiently, like with pollution or public goods, and how governments step in. So by the end of microeconomics, you will understand how markets operate, how firms behave and where government regulation is needed. So students, then we shift to macroeconomics, which looks at the economy as a whole. So this section covers from lecture 8 to lecture 13. Lecture 8 is introduction to macroeconomics, the big goals like growth, inflation, unemployment. Then lecture 9, national income accounting, how GDP is measured and what it means. Then lecture 10, aggregate demand and aggregate supply, the model that explains business cycles. Then lecture 11, fiscal policy, how governments use spending and taxation. Then lecture 12, monetary policy, how central banks use money supply and interest rates. Then lecture 13, international economics, trade, exchange rates and globalization. So this part helps us understand why some countries grow faster than others, why inflation happens and how global institutions like the IMF affect Pakistan. So dear students, finally we will have lecture 14, review and past papers. Here we will summarize all the key diagrams and theories, solve sample exam questions, then prepare strategies for University of London exams. So dear students, this is our journey from basic concepts to market to big picture macro and finally exam preparation. So my advice for you, don't just memorize, apply these theories to real life, ask questions and think critically. That's exactly what UOL examiners rewards. In the next lecture, we will start with the most important building block, demand and supply, the forces that shape markets, prices and everyday economic life.